I was born and raised right here in St. Thomas. I loved growing up in this marvelous town. It was here that my mother and father taught me how to work hard and to support myself. I was the 8th of 9 children. Most of my time was spent attending school, church, and working on our farm. And let me tell you, there was a lot to do. We had alfalfa hay, corn, wheat, barley, and oats. We had horses, cows, milk cows, hogs, and chickens. Milking a cow was one of the first things I learned how to do when I was just a small boy. But the work didn't stop there. We had fruit trees, grapes, asparagus, and a huge garden. However, life in St. Thomas wasn't all just work. We had wonderful celebrations here also. Every 24th of July, to celebrate the Mormon pioneers coming into the Salt Lake Valley, the entire town of St. Thomas would gather for a full day of food, fun, and what I like best, horse races. Mother would give us each a silver dollar to spend on candy and ice cream. But by riding my horse in those races, and of course winning, my silver dollar would turn into $1.50. Everything in the town seemed centered around the Gentry store, which also operated a small hotel. The post office was also located in the store. At the end of the day, most of the community would gather to get our mail and to learn the daily news from each other. We were a tight-knit group of people. We loved and cared for one another. Most of us attended the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, though most folks just called us Mormons. I remember my friend standing up in church one day to bear testimony that the gospel of Christ was true. I asked my father if it would be all right for me to do the same. He encouraged me, and I've always had a burning testimony that the gospel of Christ is true. The only the only highway for automobiles between Los Angeles and Salt Lake City was called the Arrowhead Trail and ran right through our small town of St. Thomas. Sometimes the creek would overflow and make it impossible for the cars to pass.
Berkeley, take this team of horses and pull those cars to the other side of the river.
Yes, sir. Yep. Whoa. I'll have you folks out in a minute.
So, are you one of them Mormons?
Why, yes, I am indeed a Mormon.
I hear you don't smoke or drink alcohol.
No, ma'am, I don't smoke or drink alcohol. It's against my religion to do so.
Oh.
Sometimes I think I was the first Mormon some of them have ever met. But, Mormon or not, the people of St. Thomas took care of one another. Once, when I was a small boy, our home burned down completely.
Oh no! No!
We stayed the night at our neighbor's. We were only able to save a piano and $5 in cash. Sometimes when I look back, I wonder how we got through that terrible time and survived. But we did. We had great times and hard times in St. Thomas, but one of the hardest times of all was when I was just 17 years old. The government had begun construction of Hoover Dam and had bought everyone's property in my beloved town. My parents had moved to Las Vegas, but had come down one more time to bid our home and town farewell. We spread a picnic lunch on the front porch and watched as the rising waters of Lake Mead grew closer and closer to us. Eventually it came up to the front porch and we had to move. And we moved with heavy hearts. For some reason, it was the sound of the cistern filling with water that really bothered me. But that was when I knew that was it. The final thing. It's a heartrending experience to know that the home that I had loved for 17 years was gone forever. My town was gone forever. I'd like to think it was the lessons that I learned in St. Thomas that made me want to run to become a U.S. Senator. It was here in St. Thomas that I learned to love my brothers and sisters. It was here in St. Thomas that I gained a firm testimony that the gospel of Jesus Christ is true. And it was here in St. Thomas that my mother and father taught me how to work hard and to love and serve those around me.